Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, October 12th, 2021. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and of course you are watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by ICAA. I guess they didn't have a press release this week, Fitzy.
They don't got any free money this week.
Yeah, that's awesome. ICAA is your local social service organization that works together with individuals, families, and the community to create and support local solutions for local needs. For a full list of services, check them out on their Facebook page or go directly to their website at indianheadcaa.org. A couple of quick programming notes. Tomorrow, Wednesday, October 13th, I'll be chatting with former 75th Assembly District Representative Romaine Quinn, who, right before the show, had announced, and we put up on our website at DrydenWire.com, that he is running for the 25th, is that the state, the 25th Senate District race against Janet Bewley, assuming Janet's running again. So we'll be talking to him tomorrow morning. I think my dad actually, I texted him this morning and said, hey, do you want to come on and kind of co-host this tomorrow morning? So it's a special one-off Wednesday show with Romaine Quinn tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on our Facebook page. And then on Thursday, I believe this is the Thursday that Congressman Tom Tiffany will be joining me for another episode of Breakfast with Tiffany. So I can't wait to talk to the congressman, seeing all the goings-on in D.C. and in the 7th Congressional District. Both shows, again, start at 8:30 in the morning. But today, it's Positive Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. I look forward to these so much. Fitzy, good morning. How are you? And it looks like once again you are not. Like last time you were on, you were outside. And it looks like you are again. I think you had said you were going to be at a remote location. I can't remember where. So where are you?
I'm at the Wisconsin Dells at a training and for the Sheriff's Department, part of a command college, and it's a command college retrainer. Back in 2014, I went to a training. It was a 9-month course on command college for law enforcement officers. And over the years, they've had a class every year, and they have a retrainer every year. And I went to this retrainer this year because the topics that were covered yesterday and today has some interest and some bearing, and that will drive. And I'll talk about some of the training because it's based on a trivia question for today.
Oh, you have a trivia question for today.
I have a trivia all prepared and ready.
Oh my goodness. You should go away more often. Yeah. And let's get into a little bit more, because I really don't have that much to talk about. I wrote down a couple of things here, literally 2 things. Right. So I would love to know more about that. And again, anyone that is watching, if you have a question for either of us, but usually that would be for you because I'm not an expert in anything. So please let us know in the comments. But as always, we like to start with the trivia questions. Actually, you know what? Slow down. I should slow down.
Okay.
This weekend. How was your weekend? I forgot about that.
What did we do this weekend? We had football on Friday night, big homecoming win. Saturday, we had a youth hunt. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And Sunday, I drove here. And so what did you do?
So I went. Right? Yeah, I did. I had a nice little getaway. First, it was a great weekend for sports. I mean, I could just go on and on about that, but I want to use my little time here, my human moment, to not talk about sports, which usually I do. But no, it was great on Saturday morning. Drush and I and the kids packed up, left, we're heading to Menominee, but we dropped off our kids at her sister's, Drush's sister's in Barron. And then Drush and I took some back roads and went out to Menominee for my granddaughter's 5th birthday. So that was awesome. I mean, it's still weird to think that I'm a grandpa, much less she's already 5. Bentley's 5, which is just nuts. Obviously, I got to spend some time with my grandson, Baylor. That was fun. And then when we were finished with that, we went over to Eau Claire, did some shopping. Because, when you're in Spooner, you're even in Rice Lake, you still have more options than we do here in Spooner. Right. So we went to, she went to all the girls' spots, Target, Ross, whatever that is. I didn't go into any of these. I spent my time at Best Buy. Then we went to a hotel and hot tub in it because, every time we go somewhere, we have to have a hot tub in it. So that was a lot of fun. She was very disappointed in the quote-unquote kitchen because, anytime we go to one of these rooms, our getaways, we try to do it. It's just a quick 24, 30-hour thing. No kids, just the 2 of us at a hotel. We like to get a big room and a hot tub. We always want the biggest room in the hotel and with a hot tub because it's just kind of nice and special, right? But every time we go to one of these, I always end up going and finding a comfy sofa or a chair, turn on the TV and watch sports, and then Drusha just goes to the kitchen. It's just the way that we are. But the kitchen was just like this tiny little sink, and there was no counter space, no cup, nothing. So
please, no comments, people.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because of course I always put that on my personal page. That she's in the kitchen where she belongs, and I always get a few people that aren't, super happy with that. But whatever, come on, it's just a joke between the two of us.
His wife's okay with it.
Yeah, well, right. Actually, I show her. I don't seek her permission. I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. Before I post those things, I show her, get her approval first. So yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I would highly encourage people to, it's so important. Just one night. Couple days in a different location. You don't have to go to Mexico like my brother is right now. Just a little getaway. Do you and your wife ever do stuff like that? Just, we just need we're heading to the cities or somewhere.
But we travel for hockey so much that's kind of, we eat out, we travel, we stay in hotels, we're with family or whoever. So we don't, we love to, but I travel for work. Holly can travel for work. We travel so much for hockey that we kind of like to stay home because we travel so much.
Right. Well, I would encourage it.
But I agree with
you. Just come to Spooner.
Needs to do it. Everybody needs to break, and it's fun. It's relaxing, and it recharges you.
It does. It really does. All right, so trivia questions. Do you want to go first, or I have one? I think we're at 16 points. Remember, when we get to 25 points, then we do a $25 gift card giveaway for Amazon. You want to go?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'll go.
You go ahead.
So I'm going to stick with what I was doing last week, which is Wisconsin, like official Wisconsin trivia stuff. What is Wisconsin's official state dance? Kind of find out there's an actual official state dance. Is it A, the chicken dance, B, the mashed potato, C, the polka, or D, the Humpty? The Humpty. The little Digital Underground reference there for you.
Well, I hope somebody helps me with it. C is logical, but
chicken dance, mashed potato, polka, and the Humpty. With Digital Underground. By the way, Tupac Shaker, a.k.a. Tupac Shakur, he was a part of Digital Underground when they first started. Crystal has already said polka. She seems very confident in that, but we'll wait for a second. What is your trivia question?
Oh, yeah, my trivia question. So I'm at a training on hiring, and, the issue in the world of all of our jobs, all the help wanted signs in the world. We had an all-day speaker on hiring and winning talent, and I thought was interesting is there's 74 million baby boomers, which are people that are 55 to 75.
Uh-oh.
There's 74 million of them are retiring per day now. 74 million.
Hold on a second. You're going to cut up there for a second. You said 74 million.
How many retire per day?
Oh, how many retire per day? Okay, what are my options?
Okay, so 1,000 to 4,000, 5,000 to 10,000, 11,000 to 15,000, or 16,000 plus. Retire per day. So, and what's interesting about that is everybody says these help wanted signs are up. Well, the Generation X is the next generation. There's 65 million people. So there's already, close to 7-8 million less people to fill jobs. And so that's why there's so many help wanted signs. It's not that people don't want to work. It's that there's 7 or 8 or 9 million less people to fill those jobs.
Yeah. Well, it can't be A. It can't be 1 through 4. And honestly, my first thought is it's got to be 16,000 or more, because I think that's just the age that they are right now. I mean, maybe 11 to 15. All right, let's go back. I'm going to think about that. If anybody knows or has a guess on that, how many baby boomers are retiring? You said per day.
Per day.
Per day. 1 to 4,000, 5 to 10,000, 11 to 15,000, or 16,000. Well, it'd be 15,000 and more. I think it's D. But all right, so my question was Wisconsin official state dance. It's the chicken dance, mashed potato, polka, or Humpty. Now, we can probably rule out a few of those.
There's a couple polkas. I'm going to go with polka.
Polka is correct. And
Yeah.
chicken dance and mashed potato. Because I don't know dances, so I knew like the Humpty dance. So I just Googled like fad dances. So I want to make this one easy because I want to get those 25 points so we can do a giveaway. So you are
Okay.
correct, and that means we're up to, I think I said 7, so 20. Yeah, perfect. And now for yours, boy, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Remove one, and if possible, C or D, if that's possible.
Well, I'll remove D because it's not 6,000 plus.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go out here. I'm going to say it's C, 11 to 15.
It's not. It's 10. 10,000 employees per day we're losing in the generation or in the baby boomers. So
this is boy, these remote things, or when you're in a other location. Here's the trucks going by. You're all blurry. You need faster internet.
Well, I try to get a better signal. Yeah, I know. We got to get the wilderness to get better internet.
See, that's what you get when you go outside. Okay.
Anyway, it's 10,000 employees a day we're losing, and that's why people are having trouble filling jobs because there's less people to fill them. When we're losing 10,000 people a day, we're just losing that many more people that even if everyone that's next generation takes a job, we're short people every single day, which is just compound problem. So we have a problem. We're working on it. I mean, and it was tips on how to hire people, we need a tagline for the sheriff's department. You've got to keep against these different law enforcement agencies and everything else. So am I completely frozen? There. Sorry.
Yeah, and well, honestly, the video part nobody cares about really. It's not that big a deal. It's just the audio every once in a while we get a little tripped up. But again, for the most part, we're hearing everything you're saying. I think.
All right. Well, that's good. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
It would work a lot better.
No, it is what it is. So I want to go over just a couple of things that I had posted, and I do have a question. Oh yeah, that was Nancy had said. Let's go to Olive Garden. That's great. So George and I she had ordered Olive Garden, for delivery to our hotel this weekend, and that Nancy had sent a link saying that Olive Garden is going out of business. So she was suggesting that it's because of us, but I don't think so. So I have a couple things that I had written down or things that we have done. I don't think this was really, I can't remember if this was the Sheriff Department or a Rice Lake thing, but our headline was Man Pleads Guilty, Sentence on Lesser Charge from Fight Near Comstock Trailer Park. I'm bringing that up because I recall having a conversation with you when this all happened. I believe this was like part of this motorcycle gang, and we were talking about that. I didn't even know there were like motorcycle clubs. I don't know if gang is the right word, but in your area, and the person I think just got like $500 fine or something, and I'm sure there's reasons for that. But that was something that we published. I didn't know if that was anything that you wanted to comment on. Fitzy?
Well, yes, we do have. I don't think they're gangs either. They're regular people, just like you and they do their own thing. But otherwise, it's basically, the lesser charge is it was a fight that occurred and some fired a weapon, and that's just what the district attorney decided to do. No one was injured. I don't know if it's because of witnesses that didn't want to cooperate or whatever it was, or it was friendships that got taken too far. I don't know the whole details behind that case, but that's where it's at. So.
Sure. And the other one,
nothing on that. There's no really big issues with their clubs.
Sure. So the other one that we had posted, it was actually yesterday. It was from Barron County Public Health. I had a question. I know that isn't necessarily your world, but you talk to these individuals or these departments, I'm sure, almost daily, if not multiple times a day. And it was Barron County Public Health reporting 5 more COVID-19 related deaths. And that part wasn't the part I wanted to ask you about. It was, I believe these were, I can't remember. I think it was like from August or September, or they were previous. And it's, well, how are they now? So it's 5 more, but it wasn't like this weekend. That's what I first thought when I looked at that press release. Right. So how does that work?
Sure. What I can tell you is that I did learn about those deaths, and we did talk about those deaths, or I talked to public health about those deaths. And it was just because they weren't confirmed at the time of death, COVID or not. And through the death certificate is where we get this information, is when the coroner, medical examiner rules and makes a ruling on death, whether it be, suicide, car accident, heart attack, COVID, whatever. Um, and so they wait for rulings on that, whether they were waiting for test results on your heart, or I don't know the whole
Sure.
reason why, but that was why it didn't get ruled. They ruled that way, and they were just waiting to, there wasn't any over the weekend and things like that, or has been. I think there was only one recently, but those 5 were from previous, and they just want to make sure a count is accurate, and they're trying to be as accurate as they can. I know some people don't believe in that, or some people say they're making it up, or there's underlying health conditions, and I think public health does a good job of telling you, yeah, they were 85 years old and they had underlying health conditions, and COVID caused this or didn't cause it or whatever. So I mean, a lot of people died in July and August and September, and not all of them were COVID related. And so I think they're just trying to be as accurate as they can. And I think a lot of people, jump on their case, just a little too fast and just get too excited about it. And they were just doing what they've been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just they were waiting for accurate results, and I think that's fair.
And they've always been transparent of all the ones that in our area, and I'm sure everywhere else too, but in our area, Barron, Burnett, Rusk, Sawyer, Washburn, et cetera, that they've always been transparent. They, like you said, they're doing the best they can. Some of these are, no kidding, they have been just working an awful lot, and some of them even, I don't know, short staff, speaking of training and hiring, but they just don't. They had like normal jobs to do, like their regular work to do, and then you throw this in, and that hasn't gone away. They're still having to do all that. So yeah, cut them some slack. I think they're being consistent, they're being transparent, and they're getting the information out. I mean, you can agree, you may not like certain things, or I don't know. I don't want to get into that conspiracy theory stuff, because I think that's where a lot of this stuff starts as well. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of those things are true. I don't really know, but I'm just going to. Right now, I'm perfectly fine with what Barron County Public Health, what our local county public health, what they're saying. I have no reason to think that is inaccurate information. None at all.
And I think, yeah, and I agree. And we could talk all day, and there'd be 10,000 comments if we said one thing or the other. But we just got to keep moving forward and get through some of this. And tomorrow there's a booster shot clinic in Barron at the Barron Electric. Mm-hmm. So if you need your booster shot, you can have one there. So that's tomorrow. Check our public site. If you're in high risk category, if you've had I think you had to have your second shots over 6 months ago, you're eligible for the booster shot.
Sure.
And so we're trying to give people the booster shot. I don't care if you believe in it or not, whatever you want, but if you want one, you can go get one. That opportunity is being made available. So
do you have to live in Barron County for that one?
At this, our schools are doing as good as they can.
Sure.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't believe so.
Okay. I'm going to have to go to your site.
And I think like 900 available. So it's a first come, first serve. You don't need an appointment. You do need to fill out a form ahead of time. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to protest there. You don't have to just let people do what they want to do. Right. This all comes down to choice. I get it. I get some businesses aren't choice, and that's not for me to decide. That's for you and your business owner to decide if you want to do that or not do it, whatever you want to do. But if you want this, it's available, and it's available tomorrow in Barron County.
Awesome. So the only 2 topics I'd written down is I wanted to just get your thoughts. Romaine Quinn, who had just announced right before we went live on the show that he was going to be running for the 25th Senate District. And then I want to now know more about your training and how some of that, because when Dad was the sheriff, Terry Dryden, Washburn County Sheriff for 28 years until he retired about 3 years ago, he would go to meetings in Madison. He'd go to Stevens. Actually, he was supposed to be gone this week, and even though he's not the sheriff anymore, but it was like something. I think Mom got a little ill, or there's another reason Dad decided I couldn't go to this. but I think like the Burnett County Sheriff is down there, some former sheriffs, but they would go to a lot of these meetings. There was a lot of reasons for those meetings, but there was always people who said, that's gas money, and you have to use, the sheriff's vehicle, and then we got to pay for a hotel room. That's taxpayer dollars. How is that? We could use that for something else. How is that beneficial to the county? So when you go away on trips like this, do you get that feedback of, you're just going around and staying in hotels, and that's taxpayer dollars. I want to know what you're doing. Or is it, I pick and choose. Some of them I don't go to, some of them I do, but here's why it's so important. And if so, what is that?
Right. So I'm at the Command College retrainer, like I talked about. And, I think I'm very specific on just going. One, I go in my personal life, so I don't really want to go in my professional life unless I have to. One, it's a outreach and getting to know members of other departments. And I sat around and talked to some people last night. We have a training budget that we put in, so I send people to training. A lot of the trainings have been virtual, and we try to do a lot of virtual trainings because it's just easier than driving to Madison for a meeting. So a lot of meetings have been virtual.
Screenshot. Fantastic. Go live, they said. You'll never have any problems, they said. It's easy, they said. Okay, so it looks like we have lost Fitzy here. I'm going to text him real quick and tell him just to hang that up and then sign back in. Bear with me just a second. Chris, and he already popped out. Hopefully he's going to try to sign back in. That's awesome. Oh, my goodness. Well, I don't know what he was doing down there. There we go. Hopefully he'll be signing back in here in just a minute. So, and there he is. Hold on. Guest has muted themselves. Oh, there you are. Hey.
Hey there?
Yeah.
I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. You see, you need to stay at you need a hotel with the biggest room and a hot tub and the fastest Wi-Fi. Telling you, that's where it's at. Okay, so you went to yeah. So you were talking about the meetings and you were down there for, and you had a chance last night to talk to others. So obviously there's a lot of networking there and getting ideas and thoughts, and that's about when you cut out.
Okay. Well, and networking, we're looking at buying a new drone as part of the budget for next year. So we were talking to, I know this department, Shawano County. I know a guy that from there, and he's like, well, yeah, I run our drone division, and they have 4 drones. They're obviously a lot bigger department than us. And so, but it worked out well. He's going to give me a contact with somebody where we can test a drone, look at his price list, compare it to my price I've gotten. So good. Yesterday, his thing was on
good
hiring. You hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Wait, you're on Wi-Fi and you're outside. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're farther away from your Wi-Fi signal.
I'm using my own here. I'm trying to.
Oh, you have your own.
That's
fancy.
What happened. Yeah. So it says I almost have a full signal.
Yes, but if the Wi-Fi speed is slow anyway, then it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah.
So, all right.
All right. Well, okay. So I want to ask you something about the drone. Actually, Bobby Joe, I don't know if you can still hear me, Fitzy. One, I didn't know you didn't have a drone. Like Burnett County has one, and you're 3 times the size. Are you saying you're getting a new drone, or our first time we're getting a drone?
No, we have a drone.
Oh, okay.
We need to upgrade it. Technology. Ours is 5 years old. Going to be 6 years old next year. So we're upgrading to a smaller model. We have one with night vision, and it does really, really good.
What do you do? Wait. What are you doing with that one?
I'm keeping it.
You are keeping it? Like Chris Fitzgerald's keeping it?
The department is keeping it because it's a very high-powered night vision, and So we're still going to use that one. The battery life is decreasing in that one, so we're going to use that for strictly night vision, or use this other drone for day-to-day use.
All right, I'm just saying, sheriff's auctions. That's
Yeah,
where they're at. So, and someone had a great question, Bobby Joe. Do you need a search warrant with the drone? I suppose what you're using the drone for, of course, right?
Right. It depends. Yes, at certain times we need a search warrant. Other times we don't. A lot of times we have permission to be on the property, or we're there for a legal reason already. And most of the time it's for a SWAT call or something like that.
Right.
So we're already there. So then we use the drone just like we would anything else. So,
Sure.
But yes, at certain times we do need a search warrant. But at certain times we don't. So it depends on the situation.
And how much longer are you down there for?
I'm coming home today.
Okay. So is there another meeting today or this morning still?
Yeah. It's on the Kenosha riots, or the Kenosha
Sure.
civil unrest. So that's
civil
and bads of that.
That's what they call it now. We can't call it riots. Like we know we cannot use that word anymore. It's technically civil unrest. That's fantastic. Oh.
Yes. So we're using. So I'll be going to that. Quick Trip is coming to talk to us this afternoon about hiring, which I think is interesting. How private business and law enforcement are coming together. It's not about hiring. It's just what the tips that Quick Trip are using to retain employees. And I think that'll be interesting.
I thought you meant like they were coming there and saying that, okay, if you don't like law enforcement anymore, we're hiring. I see now. Okay.
I'm not saying that might not be. They might have a hidden agenda, but
a little job fair, yeah.
A little job fair. But so it'll be interesting how employee retention, because I think that's a very key role. In what we do every day is employee retention. So.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about it when you're finished and we have a better signal. So we're not wrapping up here. I still want to just get your thoughts on Romaine Quinn real quick, but. Next Tuesday we're off because that's our scheduled Tuesday off. So it'll be 2 weeks until we're back on. So I want to make sure that, I would definitely, even though it'll be 2 weeks later, I still want to hear about, especially what you're going into this morning, about the civil unrest. I'm really curious to hear how that goes. But I do want to make sure that I ask because you and I both know Romaine Quinn. And again, for anyone is just kind of joining us here, just before we went live on the show, Romaine Quinn, the former state assembly representative in the 75th, that would be your district. Or in Barron County, which also is Shell Lake, and I think the bottom, pretty much the third of Washburn County. He didn't seek re-election after his last election. Now Dave Armstrong at the end, he wanted to start a family. He's now started his family, and he announced that he's running for state senate, assuming that Janet Bewley runs again. She was on the show recently, and I asked if she was running, and she said that as of right now, that seems to be the plan. So he had just announced that. You and I have talked about Romaine before. I want this to be a political thing, but just you've given him compliments. He has always been great to DrydenWire and to me personally. But just your overall, kind of your thoughts on Romaine, kind of getting back into politics and maybe some of the good things that he has done when he was there in the 75th and working with you.
Well, and somebody put "win with Quinn," and that's his slogan. And he's been very good to law enforcement. He's been very good to me personally. He's been good to our department. He's been very good for Barron County and the meth problems. Romaine cares, and he has a passion. We both knew he wasn't going to stay out of politics very long. I mean, we could have bet money on this.
Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, how long until he has his first kid that he's like, that's it, I'm getting back into it? Because that really was the reason. I wanted to start a family, and it's very difficult to try to start a family when you're constantly traveling, you're in hotels, and she was obviously being pregnant. So, yeah, I mean, it was really smart how we did it, but, yeah, we didn't think that he was going to be out of this for very long.
It's tough to step away because he loved it. He cared about it like I care about law enforcement, and I know it was tough for him to stay away, step away and not be involved. And now he wants back in, and that's great. And good luck to him. And he'll do a great job representing the people. And he'll he enjoys it.
Yeah, and you and I've
always
a passion for it. Yeah, we look at people, and you and I share the same opinion on this or a view on this. That we don't really look at if it's an R or a D behind your name. We've talked about that many times. Again, we're not talking about politics. That we want him to win. Right? That's got nothing to do with this. It's just talking about Romaine Quinn as the person. And you're right. He's passionate. He's done a lot of good things. If you're a Democrat, I mean, okay, fine. If you're a Republican, fine. But I don't care about that part. Just the human being, Romaine. I think he's an exceptional person. So yeah, good luck to him. Again, we'll be talking to him tomorrow morning. I think Dad's going to hopefully co-host that tomorrow morning. So Dad and I will be chatting with him at 8:30 here tomorrow morning for a live show right at 8:30 on our Facebook page. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. And I don't know, have you heard? Maybe I'll ask him tomorrow morning. Have you heard anything about the districts getting realigned? Isn't that supposed to happen at some point this year?
Yeah, there was very little change in the county one because population didn't really change a lot. So that's redistricting is in December. We just passed the redistricting for Barron County. It didn't change. It just changed some of the boundaries. It didn't change any of the actual, who represents this district. It changed no one. There's Dave Wilson. Yep.
Oh, there we go. We got our Dave Wilson in.
There, Dave Wilson. And Dave's right. Romaine has always been good to work with. No matter what side of the fence you're on, he was always good to work with. And so
you don't have to agree with all this stuff. Like if he was a Democrat, right. Democrats would love him too, because he's knowledgeable. He gets engaged. There's like almost nothing that is going on. It may take him a while to kind of catch up here since he's been out for however long it's been, a year and a half or so, I think. Mm-hmm. But there was almost nothing that I could ask him about. It could be a bill that's really kind of focused down on the southeastern part of the state, and he knows about it. He just wanted to know about everything and have an understanding of everything. And I would love to think, or actually I would love to say that all the people that I talk to that are in politics can do that. But pardon the pun, I got news for you. That's not accurate, right? Not all of them do. It's just they focus on that one, which is important. But sometimes a bill that is kind of meant more for some other area does still have a positive impact on our area. Anyway. I can't wait for that show tomorrow morning. I think Ben had a question in here. Quick Trip, stop testing/screening for THC during hiring along with many other big companies. Maybe you guys could talk about how that helps them to ensure. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, so it does include good people.
I can tell you Ben's right. A lot of people did. Ben's right. A lot of people did stop testing for drug testing for pre-employment. Mm-hmm. Good or bad, I'm not 100% sure on that, but it does not exclude some people. So Ben is right that if they use it for medicine or for joy, no, it's still illegal, Ben. But I agree with the medicine part of it. But it does help. There's no question. Ben's right. It does help. I don't know if it hurts in the long run for employee sickness or employee not showing up for work because we're drunk or high. But I don't have the stats on that. It doesn't exclude people for that, and Ben's got some point to that, although we just have to be somewhat careful if they're running big machines or doing something like that to make sure that they're operating safely.
You could ask them today if you can, like a representative there from Quick Trip, if they're going to be there, just how that process has gone, or I don't know, a little more, and then you can report back to Ben in 2 weeks when we're back on that.
Yeah, I'll do my best, Ben. I'll do my best to try to see who this guy is. I don't know who it is from Quick Trip, but I'll be interested to learn about that and
see if they want to advertise on DrydenWire.
It's just yeah. All right. I don't think Quick Trip needs to advertise.
I don't think so either. You always need to advertise. You always need to advertise.
I don't even know. Does Quick Trip advertise? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
They don't advertise with us, and I don't even look at DrydenWire. So. All right. Anything that you wanted to get to that we didn't get a chance to get to? Again, we're off for next Tuesday, so we'll be back on it 2 weeks from today. Anything else that you wanted to mention or talk about?
I'm just trying to think of what's upcoming over the weekend. I don't know that there's a lot. Oh, we had a youth hunt on Saturday, and our department took part in that. And it's a youth safe shooting, and so I think that was really good. It was put on by a lot of volunteers. Help kids shoot and learn how shooting different weapons, safety of different weapons. It was still part of the same day as Youth Hunt. We tried to move it around, but it ended up being the same day as youth hunt, which isn't ideal. But we had, I think there was over 80, 85 kids that attended this 4 or 5 hour event, and some of our deputies and some of our local PDs took part in it. Jim Corrado owns Shatec Marina and Great Outdoors in Rice Lake. He lets us use his land,
Oh,
and a
nice.
lot of the Russ Fell, former DNR warden, the DNR takes place in this. The State Patrol took part in it, just on safety. So we actually had our officers and some of these volunteers we taught them how to safely unload, how to safely shoot a gun. And they shot clay pigeons, they shot AR-15s, they shot 22s, they shot pistols, it was just a really neat event for kids. And the free hot dogs from Louis, and it was just a fun day that we always take part in to teach a little bit about safety.
So I don't like guns. I don't like being around guns. Or I should say I don't like being around idiots who have guns. Now, like my brother, my dad, and you, that's fine. I actually feel safer. Like my brother is no more than like 6 feet from a gun at any given point. But I know he knows how to use it and he's smart, blah, blah, blah. But I was actually close to thinking about maybe possibly looking into buying a gun. And then I found out you got to clean it. And I'm thinking just take a rag and just wipe the dust off. No, I guess there's a lot more and you have to have these little tools and stuff. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be clean. If I got to clean it, I don't want it. So I was out of that one right away.
Okay.
Yeah. Shirts ready, Karen Baker. So actually, we do have an update on that. So my brother went to, right before he left, I think it was on Wednesday morning last week, Dad, Matt, and I met for breakfast. We're going to try to start meeting on some Wednesdays just for the three of us. And I brought in the shirt because we had ordered many different styles and kinds and whatever. So we finally finalized it, took a picture. He has it. He's ordering a whole bunch of them. And then when he gets back, then we have to start actually making them. But then he left the next day, and he's still there. He's in Mexico. He and his wife went for a vacation. I can't afford to go there. We can go to Eau Claire, but we can't afford to go to Mexico. So when he gets back, I think tomorrow, then we're going to start that. So that means in 2 weeks, when we're back on for the show, we'll be able to show the shirts and et cetera. So the Positive Tuesday Benefits shirts with a quote.
Awesome.
So it will actually have that ready.
Perfect.
Last question here. You had said AR-15s they shot. Do you get any kind of pushback from that? Like, okay, so we're putting an AR-15 into somebody's hands at a relatively young age. Do you get any parents going, "How dare you"?
I would guess if they were that against it, they wouldn't bring their kid to the youth event.
Sure. All right, fair point.
You have to shoot it. I mean, we had archery, we had fishing, so it wasn't just all about guns. And it's more about safety. And these are kids interested in probably being hunters. And it's grandparents and dads and moms that bring kids and have this fun day. And it's just put on by a lot of volunteers. So no, I don't think that issue is there.
Sure.
Or they probably wouldn't come to this event.
Good point. We do have one more thing in here, and I didn't bring this up. I should have. I put that on our website. Please talk about the overdoses in Rice Lake. I believe the Rice Lake Police Department put out, I don't remember when it was. It was late last week, I think. We put it on our website. There were 2 overdose deaths, and I think last I heard, or according to that press release, that they were separate incidents, but they were looking to see if there was any kind of connection, and I don't know what that means. I'm assuming if it's the same type of a drug, or I don't know.
Sure.
So there was a lot of questions after reading that press release, which I still haven't seen if there's been an updated one yet, or at least hasn't been sent to us. What do you know about that?
Well, I think there is a lot of questions. I think from a law enforcement standpoint, there's a lot of questions. Are the 2 people connected? Is the drug connected? Was it the same drug? So that's going to take a lot of time and effort on Rice Lake PD's part to do all of that, and I think that's what they're doing. So I haven't seen an update either. I did talk to one of their captains who gave us a small update, but again, those are the same questions he was still asking, because obviously these people aren't going to come forward and say, "Oh, that was my friend, and we bought the same drugs together," and so it's not.
Right.
So I don't think there's a lot of people cooperating or coming forward and telling us, accurate information. Or a lot of people will say, "Well, they bought their drugs from somebody else because they're the rival drug company or the drug seller in the area." So again, cooperation and sorting through the information to make sure that it's a accurate information is what the Rice Lake PD is doing. And so, those are tough cases, yes, but there was 2 overdose cases of drugs. And so we're waiting to determine the actual drug, what was in the drug. Was it a drug mixed with something? All of those questions go into this investigation, which isn't simple to do. Obviously, you got to send the drugs to Madison to get tested. They have to determine what, the drug, it wasn't just straight up marijuana or methamphetamine. I'm sure it was laced with something. That would be, maybe it was heroin.
Right. And then you have to start thinking, is that something that... Yeah, so then you start thinking, that would be interesting to know if they were, separate. Obviously, these, I can't say they appear to be separate. The 2 separate incidents, certainly. And if there was a drug that had this, it was the same kind of drug, which is different than normal, whatever that was, laced with something else. Now that all of a sudden that starts raising red flags, right? Now all of a sudden it's, hey, I got to start getting with my drug investigators and go, are we having an outbreak of a certain type of drug laced with something that we have not seen in our area in the past? This is a problem. We have to get ahead of this right away.
Correct. Fentanyl's a drug. Comes another car by. But fentanyl is a very drug that's airborne, and if you touch it from a law enforcement standpoint or a different standpoint, so it could be dangerous. So that's what we consider. So
really?
I see Ben asked a question here.
Huh?
Another car. There's a parade going by. No. We don't test people for drinking when they show up for work drunk. I would disagree with that, because we've been called to businesses because the people have been drinking, and so I think Ben's wrong in that. I finally get to say Ben's wrong in something. I think we do test people, and businesses do test people if they've been drinking and they show up for work, and I think they get sent home or they get terminated. So we do that because we've been called to businesses because an employee was intoxicated or they thought they were intoxicated, etc.
Yeah.
So the other question was, COVID stations still very high in Barron County. I see that our Monday report dropped another 5, which isn't a lot, but it had dropped 80 from the week, so it had went down just a tad again. 200 in some cases. I talked to somebody down here. I think it was like Shawano County. I think they said they were at like 700, or it was Kenosha. One of the counties I was talking with last night, they had 700. Obviously, it's a bigger county,
right?
But so it's still being talked about at a statewide level. Even down here, we've talked a lot about it from the COVID standpoint and what different officers are doing, and still having officers out with COVID, and that hurts your overtime budget, things like that. So we're still talking about it, still working on it, trying to come up with different ways to combat that. So,
all right, man.
So it's still an issue, but we're learning that if you have a shot, you don't get as sick. Maybe our hospitals would still recover. Maybe we probably should have Spooner Health on here again and talk about that.
Oh, really? Don't make me call Mike.
Mike Schaefer should be on. We should probably get an update from Mike Schaefer.
All right, we'll have him on 2 weeks, assuming he's not too busy. He usually makes me grovel. Right, when I ask him, all right, what are you going to do for me?
I'll call and ask him then.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
He'll do it for me.
Yeah, he would. Fentanyl, that is a good question. He's actually watching. Shoot, sorry. I didn't mean that, Mike. Sorry about that. Oh, man. Yeah, love it. So what is a fentanyl? If you can, I mean. I don't know what's. Yeah,
I don't know exactly what it is. I'll be honest. I don't. It's a very dangerous drug. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. But,
what a jerk.
It's a very dangerous drug that gets mixed in to make the drug stronger. I mean, that's the simple terms. It makes the drug so you get higher, faster, stronger, something to that effect. But it's the touch of it, it absorbs into your skin, and you automatically, worst drug ever invented. I agree. It absorbs into your skin, even through an airborne. If I were to throw it up in the air and I had some, on my glove, and I threw it up in the air, it would affect me and it can knock you right out. You have to get the shot in the leg. The I can't think of the name off the top of my head. What's the shot we carry with us? I can't think.
Narcan.
Narcan thing. Yeah, the Narcan shot. Fentanyl is we can reverse the effects of some fentanyl with Narcan. It's made to make it. It's a very strong, dangerous drug.
Was that the one that Prince died from? I think it was. actually.
Yeah,
But I thought it was like pill
trivia
form. So is that another thing, like a meth thing, where it's this isn't like a prescribed drug that it's used for something else. They just make this. I don't even. Boy, I'm gonna have to look into fentanyl. I have no idea. You hear about it, and I usually hear about it in reference of that some other drug was laced with it, and that makes it so much more dangerous. But I don't really know what fentanyl looks like.
To make meth stronger is how I sell it to people, and it's very, very dangerous. So don't run far away from it. Just like there's Dave Wilson. Boom, he had it. He's always got my back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I guess Mike Schaefer too. Jeepers.
Yeah. maybe I should do my own.
You should do your own. Yeah, exactly.
More guests.
All right. Any last words? Anything else that you want to share before we sign off?
No, I don't think so. Have a great week and
booster shot tomorrow. Barron County Electric. Go to your web. Sure, it's on the Sheriff's Department's Facebook page.
It's on the Barron County Public Health and just go make a difference in someone's life today. Go make something positive today. Tell somebody no one ever overdosed from cannabis. Yeah. Well, I don't know. They're starting to lace things with cannabis too. So that's the other problem, that people need to get high. Your first high is your best high, Ben, and then they have to try different things. So
yeah. Why would anyone lace it up? I mean, okay, yeah, that's a conversation for another time, because that's you get people hooked on that stuff. But yeah, it's scary. Anyway, Fitzy, thank you so very much as always.
Appreciate it. Thank
all right,
you.
brother.
Sorry about my signal.
No, it's no problem at all. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I mean, not agreeing to come on, but I mean, doing this. I think last week you even said that I was going to cancel, but the show must go on. So thank you for doing that, and thanks for everyone for staying with us. There was just a couple of video issues, and that one time you're out, but really, no big deal. The people on like CBS News in the morning, like they'll be on like via Skype remote calls, and they drop all the time, and there's a terrible. So if like national news has that problem, I think DrydenWire, I think it's okay. It's gonna happen. You've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by ICAA. ICAA is your local social service organization that works together with individuals, families, and the community to create and support local solutions for local needs. For a full list of services, find them on Facebook or check them out on their website at IndianHeadCAA.org. Just a reminder, tomorrow morning, Wednesday, October 13th, I'll be chatting with former 75th Assembly District Representative Romaine Quinn, who had just announced this morning his bid for the 25th Senate District. That show will be aired live at 8:30 tomorrow morning, right here on our DrydenWire Facebook page. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks from today. Until then, stay safe, stay positive, and as always, have a blessed day.